Welcome to the panel where founders talk about building a better business and a better life. I'm Justin Jackson, the co-founder of Transistor.fm.
And I'm Brian Castle, founder of Builder Methods.
And I'm Jordan Gall, co-founder at HeyRosie.com. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you. Hey, Jordan, you do the same thing I do. I have a little trick, which is I've basically made the Transistor brand Transistor.fm. And I was always puzzled. I remember that Des at Intercom always hated it when people would say intercom.io. And I'm like, why?
I feel like the .fm and the .io, you really have to do it. And I think customer IO, they did that for a while. Like build it into the name.
Part of the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
The .com, you can, like, I don't say .com.
Oh,
I don't know.
But it makes so much sense. Like, if you're going to say Rosie, why not just say HeyRosie.com?
Yeah, this is the home. Look, if the Rosie O'Donnell superfan who's currently squatting on Rosie.com is interested in selling, I'm interested in buying.
Wait a second.
But
Is there
thus
like a blog there? Is there a Tumblr there or something?
There's an old school Rosie O'Donnell fan page blog there. Yes.
Wow. Wait, Rosie.com? Because Rosie.com is just going to please check back later. So maybe they got new plans now. Please check back later. This is your chance, Jordan.
This is it.
Let's bid on it live.
Oh, man.
Please check back later. What does that even mean? Someone's buying it. God damn it.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I mean, my thing with domains is always just like, if you could Google, like if you were to Google transistor, just the word transistor. Do you guys even show up for that? Like, probably not.
Let's see. I mean, if I Google for it, probably not, but
yeah.
Transistor. Well, in my search, Transistor is AI overview, Wikipedia, and then Transistor's number 3. But
okay, shout out to our SEO team, because if you Google Rosie, Hey Rosie comes up number 1.
Wow,
just the word Rosie?
Yeah, just the word Rosie.
No way, that's crazy.
We'll take that. But I hear you. I have a problem with it because some people call the company Hey Rosie. I'm like, that's the domain. The product is just Rosie.
Yeah.
So clearly, I need to check back later at Rosie.com and do something about that.
Yeah, but also, like, especially in the world of LLMs now, Hey Rosie, people find it. LLMs are pulling that in too. They're connecting behind the. I think people sometimes get a little too precious about their brand name. Like, it's like, no, it's Transistor, just Transistor, nothing else. It's like, no,
And really, like, the person who wants to buy the thing is going to track it down, like Transistor Podcast or Rosie AI or Rosie's call thing. That'll bring it up.
Yeah, exactly.
But a very high quality domain, I am convinced, is worth it.
I mean, if you could get Rosie.com, that would be. We should do it live on there. We should check and see.
Negotiate these things.
Oh man. All right, so I think today is my week. I've got a couple very random and disjointed topic ideas or prompts that we can use for today's discussion. But before we get into it and before we start talking about the story on Twitter this week, which was Anthropic hiking prices for developers and the why behind that and what's going on there, big lot of open questions there. But before we get into that, why don't we do some updates? Jordan, what's on your end this week?
So I have been a good individual contributor over the last few weeks. I have taken some things onto my desk, mostly out of necessity. So we have a great advertising agency. They are very reliable and steady and good, and they don't make mistakes, and so that part's good. What they fall short on is like the forward progress. Like, we should be doing this next, and this is what's next, and get us this thing and this new creative. So what I've understood or internalized is that it's up to me to do that driving part of it. And so I think of it as like our advertising funnel are like 5 levels. So level number 1 is like purely organic. Right, not really part of the advertising funnel. It kind of is because it helps retargeting, but at the very top is purely organic. Then one step further is partnership ads or Spark ads. Those are the ads I've been talking about that look like they're coming from the creator. Then level 3 is just the UGC like ads that we are currently running, that you know it's an ad as soon as you see it, but it's got a good hook and a CTA and an offer and so on. And then level 4 is the retargeting. And then level 5 is like the bottom of the funnel, retargeting, click here, free trial, you signed up but you didn't finish, whatever else. And
wow, this is a system.
I mean, this is our channel. I have,
how you do it, right?
I have stopped feeling bad about the fact that advertising is like an expensive channel, and just realized actually we're blessed that this is our channel because we can just spend money and acquire customers, and therefore we should just get really good at this channel. I probably should have done that a while ago.
I remember you brought this up with Jason Cohen last week, the question, or you sort of mentioned offhand that like you felt like bad or ashamed or
people,
that there's a lot of like that. But I wanted to chime in. I didn't really get a chance to do it last week, but I just wanted to say that like as like a career-long bootstrapper myself, I'm more jealous of that than I'm always looking at it like the grass is always greener, like the predictability, the scalability of ad funnels, and even right now it's that thing that's continuously on the to-do list. I need to start getting some ad channels going, and I haven't done it yet.
The grass is greener is definitely a factor here. I found it interesting that Jason kept using ads as like his example of go to market. So that's why I like double clicked on that with him. So in these 5 levels, I realized that we were only doing levels 3, 4, and 5. We were running ads that looked like ads. Then we retargeted them, and then we had the bottom of the funnel ads, and that turned into signups. And what I've taken upon myself to do is create levels 1 and levels 2. So we are hiring creators for level 1. I'm working on a platform called SideShift, very interesting platform. And I have a campaign manager, and she's hiring creators. And so we'll have level 1 of purely organic content soon. And those are like skits and posts that don't feel like ads. You know, someone will be talking about their own business and their own struggles, and they'll kind of like mention Rosie as a solution in part of the post, but it's not this big bang over the head ad. And then level 2 is what I'm working on with the partnership ads. And so I feel like our advertising funnel is about to become much more effective. I'm trying not to get overly optimistic because that usually ends in disappointment.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be much more effective. I'll know more in the next like 60 days on what that does to our overall signups and trials and cards on file and so on. Yeah. So that's like been my focus the last 2 weeks.
Very nice. Justin, what's happening over oh, sorry.
I just want to say, if you want to feel like a boomer, hire a few creators. This is a different language.
I'm sure.
I can barely understand what they're talking about. I have to constantly look things up on like, oh, get me this thing. And I'm like, I don't know what that thing is at all.
What did that emoji mean?
Yeah, so I'm stretching my comfort level, but instead of just like, well, let me just hire an agency for it, I really wanted to like understand what is going on here. And it's okay. The truth is, the founder of the ad agency and I have become friends, mostly because I'm very, very direct and honest with him. So I think he values the feedback because he knows I'm like going to give it to him straight. And I'm helping guide them on like, this is what your customers need out of you. Because when I go off on Twitter and I do my research and I talk to Claude and I realize we should be running like 40%, at least 40% of our ads should be partnership ads, and we're at 0%, I'm not happy with you. If you want to get ahead of that with your other customers, get a move on.
That's great feedback.
Like dumb question. So, all right, like what is like the difference between a partnership ad and like the other ads that you're running?
So first and foremost, it comes from the Rosie account. So when you see an ad, it's published under the Rosie logo and Rosie, and then there's like some ad copy, and then there's the video, and then there's a CTA. So it is, and then the content itself is an ad. Like there's a hook, and then it talks about Rosie, and then the screenshot, and then it shows the app, and then then the CTA get started with your 7-day free trial. Right? It's like 30 seconds.
What we traditionally think of as like a pay-per-click ad.
Yes. And a partnership ad is like somewhere in between fully organic, I'm going to tell you a story, and the 30-second ad. It's somewhere in between those two, and it's being published from the creator's handle. And it's actually incredible. Meta has been pushing this partnership ad approach over the last year, and it has developed into something that I think is an arbitrage opportunity. I think it is a temporary glitch in the matrix where, so there's content level and then there's account level. So the content level permission allows you to take that one post that they made and run it as an ad. But account level permission basically allows you to run whatever content you want through their handle. You can post ads, you can post versions of the ad, you can change the captions, you can post comments on your own ad as the creator. Like,
wow.
It is an extreme level of control, and I don't think that's going to last forever.
And is it marked sponsored? Or
yes,
do these
a little word sponsored
tiny
off the
thing.
corner. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. There's also these, like, it, even on the organic level, it feels like that invite to collaborate piece on Instagram where it says this is being posted by 2 or 3
By
accounts.
both. Yes.
That's
so there's a lot of different
wild.
options.
I'm so not interested in even using Instagram and Facebook. Like, I never go on those as a consumer, and I should just to understand how the mechanics work so that I can use them, you know?
It's incredibly effective. Instagram ads are incredible. But you're right, Justin. You have a lot of control. Sometimes you want to post from the brand. Sometimes you want to post just from the creator. And sometimes you want people to associate, right? Let's say you did account level partnership with an amazing podcaster. And you want the Transistor logo and that podcaster's handle together. Like, aren't we a team? Don't you want to be like them? So it gives you an enormous amount of control around how to show your content to people through your ad campaigns.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's happening at transistor.fm?
Wow. It is just insanity.
Really?
Oh, dude. It
is
feels like
video?
we're building
Let's
the
do it.
airplane in the air.
Transistor FM, the video platform?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's just so many things coalescing all at once. First, we have our own work building this video podcasting platform. We have a very, very large waiting list. So the demand is demonstrated in a list that's over 1,000 people. Like, it's very, very big. So
Existing customers or both? Or
both. I would say it's maybe 60, 70 existing customers. Or, I mean, the thing is we tag it with a plan, but a lot of people have signed up just to try this out. So,
okay.
And where do you, like, where are the new people or the non-account holders discovering that Transistor is now offering video? Like, where's that waiting list coming from?
We have a banner everywhere on the site saying Transistor now does video podcast hosting. Click here. And then it takes them to transistor.fm/features/video. And that basically, there's a thing that says, this is an early access. Click here to sign up. People sign up. And it's also in people's accounts. So when they go to their distribution tab, they'll see, oh, now you can submit to video, request access here, and then they go on the list as well.
Would you say that it's like still, most of that list is either from existing customers or at least people who already know you or Transistor? So that's how, or are there like new people who are Googling for like video podcast platform and discovering Transistor for the first time?
Yeah, it's all of it. It's I think we did a really good job. I don't know if you remember, like it was probably a month or two now, where I started basically seeding the internet with this idea that Transistor now does video podcast hosting. Transistor is one of the official partners for Apple HLS Video. Transistor is doing HLS video in RSS feeds. Transistor is allowing you to upload video to YouTube. Like, I was just putting that out over and over again everywhere. And that is now showing up in LLMs. It's showing up in AI overviews. And we're just getting signups from that. People looking for that. And it's gotten more busy. Like, at first we were like, maybe we could be first to launch with everything. But there's a few competitors that launched first. And in some ways that just took, I'm like, okay, strategy's changed now. I'm not in a rush to like say this is feature complete out the door. Like I want us to keep building this, do it well. And we have a list of a lot of people. We're sending out invites like every day. And it does feel like we're building the plane in the air. Like it's just like, oh, we invited 5 people and then 2 of them had this challenge. It's like, okay, we got to build that, fix that. I got to record special videos just for this beta period. So this scenario will not exist in a month, but we're going to create a whole knowledge base called video beta. And we have this whole automated email sequence that goes out to the waiting list. Yeah, it's just wild. That's awesome. Just wild.
It seems like you can really, it sounds like you are really capitalizing on not only that you offer video as a big headline feature, but like this term like HLS video, which I don't even really know what that means, but it's like a new emerging growing technical term that if you're Googling for that or asking AI about that, you're looking for that. And so you can start becoming known for that. But I feel like the other marketing opportunity, of course, is like Apple Podcasts now has video, and people who are going for like looking around for how do I get my video on Apple? Like Transistor in that conversation.
Get into an Apple announcement or two.
Yeah. And we have been in those announcements, and we will get official status. I think we're actually not allowed to talk about anything with Apple, but anyway, it's coming. And
forthcoming.
So that is happening, which is insane enough. And then at the same time, we hired a summer co-op student, somebody who's going into their 4th year of engineering. So here in Canada, I think this is everywhere. You go to university, you get a co-op like work program.
Just Canada.
Well, just Canada. Okay.
We do internships. Maybe that's the equivalent.
Oh yeah, it's like a summer internship. Yeah. And so we hired our first student intern over the summer. So we've been getting him onboarding. He's like literally working right here in the office. We've had 3 people co-located in the office every day, which has been kind of fun. Like just having these people coming into my office all day. Hey, can I ask you about this? Hey, can we talk about this? Hey, let's have a quick little meeting here. Yeah, I'm having just a lot of fun with that. His name is Ian, and he's been great. And then the third thing that's happening is this, the London podcast show, which I leave for on Sunday, is happening. The biggest podcast industry event of the year. There's lots to coordinate there. We're doing a sponsored talk, which is the first time I've done this. The second time I've done this. Very expensive. It was about 10 grand to get this like dedicated conference. What conferences charge would blow people's minds. Like if you want a TV in that room, 3 grand. Yeah. You know, it's just like, oh, you want an extra microphone? That's another grand.
It's a weird scam industry.
Yeah. It's insane. So we've been putting a ton of effort. The topic that we have, we had 110 capacity. I think we're already over it. We have a waiting list. The topic is video and AI. Is podcasting cooked? And there's just like, I got some advice from some other people that had done sessions, and they're like, if you put video and AI in your title, the industry, which is an amalgamation of old radio broadcast executives and tech executives and creators and massive platforms and small platforms, is just like everybody's thinking about this right now. Yeah, it just feels, I've been putting in like 10-hour days on average, and just big, long days, always something going on, go, go, go. I feel exhausted at the end of the day, but at the same time, I kind of love it. So
you got a waiting list. You have an audience.
Yeah, that's huge.
Dude, it's so fun. It's so fun. Cool. It's good, stressful, pressure, but intense. But I personally, I just kind of love this. You can't do it forever, but little modes like this.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Love to hear it, dude. Let's see. On my end. So I'll give you my update for the week. But actually, speaking of conferences, in June, like end of June, I'll be going out to the UK I'm speaking at Brighton Ruby for any Ruby on Rails developers, and doing a private workshop the day before over there. And then I'm also booked to speak in Copenhagen in September at Future Product Days, which is a pretty big conference in Europe. Designers, developers, UX, product people from all over the industry. A lot of people going out to that. And I actually have a coupon code that I can share with folks if people want it. So that'll be a good time as well. Speaking of those, like so I have like these upcoming speaking engagements and a few other like workshops that I'm doing, and I'm like booked months out to do them. And I give them a little blurb about like what I'm going to talk about, but I'm already like, that's all going to change between now and like 3 or 4 months from now, you know?
Yeah. You can add that caveat next time you make a promise.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yes.
I'm like in touch with these organizers. I'm like, here's a blurb you can put on the website, but I'm going to talk about something different. And I don't even know what it's going to be yet.
Are these like coming out of the YouTube opportunities, people reaching out?
Yeah. You know, just I'm a voice out there talking about AI and adoption and what, you know, like what it means to build, what it means for teams. I think the Future Product Days one attracts more companies and teams. So and then also with Brighton Ruby, I'm just doing one of the keynote talks, but then the private workshop, which is sold separately, that's like aimed at like teams, getting your team to adopt, which is I would say that's the team thing is becoming more of a secondary focus in terms of my ICP with builder methods, but I still get a lot of leads through it. Anyway, on my end, I sort of relate to what you were talking about, Jordan, with like taking your existing channel, your marketing channel, and like kind of
getting better.
superpowering it. Like that's what I've been doing with YouTube for the last, especially this week. I'm really starting to build it, but I've been really working through a bunch of related problems that I'm trying to solve. I'm trying to like solve some pain points, but also how can I double and triple quality level and capacity and frequency and reach and audience through my YouTube channel. One of the really fascinating things about YouTube as a channel in general, like a marketing channel or a creative channel, is that there are so many levers that you can pull and improve. And that's the case with most channels, but like especially I feel like with YouTube, it's the writing, it's the hook, it's who you're targeting, it's the packaging, it's the thumbnail design, it's the pacing, it's the production value, it's the ideation is a huge one. It's like all these different factors, right? And these are things that I've been every single video that I do, I'm trying to incrementally improve on at least a couple of those factors every time. And it's still, you know, hit and miss. Like, you know, some videos do well, some videos do less well, right?
Yeah. How are you feeling about that? How are you feeling about just the YouTube train?
It's still hard from a roller coaster standpoint. I released one a few days ago, which did a little bit better. Like I had a huge hit in March, and then I had a big drop in like the 3 or 4 videos that came after that.
Yeah.
And this last one this week, it ended up getting to like a 5 of 10 or a 4 of 10. So YouTubers track like your top of your last 10 videos. Did you get a 1 of 10? That's like a breakout hit.
Yeah.
Or a 10 of 10. It's like, okay, that was a flop. I was getting a lot of like 7 or 8 of 10s. And then this last one got up to a 4 of 10. So, you know, I'm still kind of climbing back, but anyway, the video I dropped this week was pretty good. I'm really excited about the one that's going to be dropping on Monday. But like, doesn't matter if I'm excited. There've been videos that I thought were going to be bangers that you know flopped, and vice versa. So you never really know. But what I've been working on, there are multiple strategic goals that I'm trying to solve right now. One is this has been continuous since the very beginning, which is like my capacity. It still takes me so much time and effort and mental bandwidth to push out one video, to create it, right? It's so much work. I put so much effort into the ideation, the scripting, the rewriting, the editing, and then the recording. I mean, editing the script before I record it, and then the recording, and then I hand it off to my editor, and then I still do the final 10%, and then I do the thumbnail, and then we publish. Right? There's so many steps. Like it literally takes a three to five full working days to do one video. How do I improve that, streamline that? Right? So I'm building actually multiple custom internal tools now. I won't get into all the specifics, but like multiple tools that house my training material for agents that help me in the process. Like the strategic direction, my voice, the topics, the ICP, like that kind of training that goes into AI models that help me draft stuff. Some new tools that will help to analyze trends on YouTube and see what kind of topics I should be covering and angles that seem to be resonating right now. So trying to raise that batting average of like choosing the right topic. Like I before you even get to scripting or production value, it's like I really think that the most important factor at this point is like choosing the right topics to cover at the right time. That has probably the biggest impact. And all sorts of other factors. So I'm trying to get it to the point, literally, and this might sound kind of far-fetched to people, but like, if you think about a real YouTube team, like a production team, any of the big YouTubers who have like a team around them, like producers and writers and ideation people and analytics people and script writers and creative people who help the YouTuber on camera behind the scenes. I'm trying to recreate that with agents. And I already do that to an extent with me plus Claude, just working together at the desk together. We're hashing out a script. But I want to literally get it to a point where like I show up on Tuesday morning, I have a script that is not only written, but it's tightened up. It's like basically ready to go. And I don't need to spend a whole day editing and fixing that script. That's one piece. A bunch of other pieces along the line.
So you're trying to get all these agents to just build this they work overnight, you show up, and you want it to be so good that you could basically just use that script. Yeah.
I already do use AI a lot in my script writing, but it's still a full day of me working with AI to get it there. And so anyway, I have some new internal tooling that goes much deeper on the training that goes into the AI to not only to get it in my voice and like literally how I speak, but the topics and the ICP and like story arcs and story formulas and hook formulas and title formulas and things that the AI can have less guesswork on and just things that we know will work and formulas that we can take any idea and run it into this machine.
Yeah.
That's sort of the concept, because like I think that will actually increase the quality of the script writing and the ideation, which gives it a higher chance of success on the YouTube algorithm. But B, if I could cut out days of work on my end, that could mean me recording 3 videos on a Tuesday instead of 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And then we can be like right now I'm publishing about 4 videos a month.
Yeah.
If I could be publishing 8 videos, 10 videos a month,
better off.
I mean, and it's so tied to my revenue and traffic, like every video. And what's also interesting is like this past video, this past week, like sales were pretty good, but the video it wasn't a breakout hit. It was just a mediocre hit, you know?
This is what Jason was talking about last week, which is, it's like we get used to thinking, oh, all this traffic, like more traffic, more sales. But the truth is that the customer is in the 500,000 views or 5,000 views.
Yes, that's the thing. We talk about ICP. The
customer's there either way.
Like, so last week's video and next week's video and all the videos going forward have been created in my post ICP shift mindset. So it might not seem like it on the surface, but I am speaking to a different person now in my videos, like starting this month going forward.
Yeah.
At least a slightly tweaked version of that. And I think that's actually showing up in the sales now, because
Nice.
I think that I'm seeing a couple different factors. First of all, the website has been live for over a month, and totally organic sales are still happening. And the videos, like, people are responding and joining and buying off of the videos, even if those videos are not performing super well on YouTube. So they're connecting with the right people.
That's a good sign, man.
And then the other sign that I'm seeing too is a pretty steep drop off in churn and like cancel and like refund requests. Like a lot more. Like, I was getting a lot because I had a huge spike of a lot of random people buying back in March. So that brought a lot of noise of like really good fits, some really bad fits, which results in some churn. But now it seems like all the people coming through the funnel are pretty happy. I mean, I also released a bunch of new courses, and so there's a lot more value that people are getting inside. So anyway, that's
what
that's
it makes me. You remember what I mentioned as, like, you know, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For you, that level 1 that I think is missing, but let me ask instead of assume. You don't have anything above the main content of a 30-minute YouTube video. Your level 1 and 2 would be Reels.
Yeah, so that's
and
the other
TikTok
thing.
and Facebook, all leading back into the YouTube channel. It's almost like you're starting at step 3 also.
You're right that's been missing, and that is also part of what I'm building right now. Is right now my editor does cut up my longs and does some YouTube shorts out of them, but those kind of suck. I am going to start to record dedicated short form content that's like optimized with like that 4-beat structure of a short that can go out on YouTube, but also like LinkedIn, Instagram. I need to be getting out on those platforms because you're right. And also back to your question, Justin, is that like I still feel too dependent on YouTube. I don't want to, like, it's always going to be the core of what I do. Number one, like, I really think that there's a huge market out there that are just not watching YouTube. They're just on these other platforms, and I should be selling to them and reaching them.
Everyone has YouTube and watches YouTube, but only a certain percentage live on YouTube as their default go-to content. Right, which is why the concept of like seeding short form across platforms while maintaining YouTube as home base.
Yeah, that's what I need to be doing. Yeah,
I use a product called Postbridge that we really like, post-bridge.com, and you can just post to all over the place. It's like a buffer.
Yeah.
We'll talk about buffer later, actually. So this product, you just make a short, and then you could hit a button, and it will go to LinkedIn, which I never go to, and it'll go to YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, and it'll go to TikTok, and it might be great timing for you, because as you shift ICP, now you can make short form video like, hey, in-house developers, or whatever that call out is of exactly your audience. You can make shorts just for them.
Yeah, I mean, like, part of this system that I'm putting together here is that, like, when I like green light an idea, like out of these 10 ideas, this is the one that we think is gonna hit best with our ICP. My system is gonna help me draft the long form version of that, and multiple short form versions that are derivatives off of that idea, and also draft tweets and articles and newsletter messages all off of the same idea, and LinkedIn posts, text, video, like, and so I could just show up on Tuesday and I can have a list of like, here's the long form to record. Now here are 4 short forms to record, get those into the queue, and we're pushing those out to all the different platforms. Like, right now, I don't have that machinery in place. I only do the heavy lift of getting the long form out. We do a little bit of YouTube Shorts, but other than that, like, nothing. That top of funnel problem is like twofold. It's like, if my videos fall flat on YouTube, or if I fall behind, then my funnel suffers from it. And And I also feel like there are all these traffic sources that just are not going to stumble into my YouTube videos, but they will on LinkedIn or X or somewhere else. And I'm just not there right now, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's worth doing for sure. Yeah. I told you guys last time that I've posted videos where, you know, I posted it on YouTube and I got 50 views. I posted it on TikTok, got 100,000 views. It sometimes what works and what grabs on one platform you have to kind of balance it out, have more out there, and then you increase your chances that, you know, it'll hit over here, maybe not here, but.
Well, why don't we talk about the elephant in the X Twitter? So there's always one story that's winning the day, and
yes.
I think yesterday or the day before it was Anthropic announcing this this pricing change, and I want to like frame it because, like, you know, there's been a lot of grumbling about Claude and their pricing and their communications around like which use cases are allowed under their terms of service and not, and people kind of giving Anthropic a lot of shit about the way that they go about things. And for the record, like throughout most of that, I've been sort of a defender of Anthropic. It's like they could charge whatever they want. They should. They have high demand, right? And that's been my stance on most of these recent over the last couple of months, like. Right. And it's like, fine, if their terms of service say you can't use it for OpenCloud, just don't use it for OpenCloud.
Sure.
And like, yeah, like, but this one
what is
yesterday,
this change? Can you
this
like
change
take one
is
step back? I'm not so aware of it. Like, is it
okay? So
just
what
a numerical price change, or like how they price, or credit versus seats? Like, what's the change?
Okay, so with Claude as a developer, you can use Claude in multiple different ways, right? So you can use Claude Code, which is their CLI product created by Anthropic. It's Claude Code. You can use Claude.ai, the web chat. You could use Claude Code on the web or on their desktop application. You can use Claude Cowork. All of those things are Claude-owned applications, Claude-owned properties, and they want you to be using those. And if you have a Claude Max subscription, which I do and most developers do at this point, you want to be able to use that subscription. You want, like, I'm paying $200 a month. I want to be able to use that everywhere I want to use Claude.
Sure.
They are obviously heavily subsidizing that subscription, right? If like I am using like $200 a month is nothing compared to the amount of actual tokens that I'm using every month.
I
right?
probably use $10 worth, and you probably use $2,000 worth, if not more.
If not more. I mean, I really think I'd like, and I'm not even using it the most out of a lot of people we know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if my actual usage is like in the multiple thousands, right? So the other way that you can use Claude is what they are now labeling programmatic usage. So this would include, if you go into your terminal and you write Claude-P and then you write a prompt, you can get a response, just like you would as if you're in Claude Code, except you're not in Claude Code.
Okay.
So any tools that you might be using where you are using where it says that you're using the Claude model, but it's not Claude Code. So
okay,
if you're using a tool like Conductor, which is a popular
right, or
coding
Solo,
tool now.
right? This like layer that Aaron
no,
is
well,
building
Solo
on top
is
of
different.
things.
I want to get into these
okay.
Because there's another interesting thing happening in that product space. We can get into that, but programmatic usage would be if you're using OpenClaw with it, if you're using any sort of tools that create a new interface for interacting with Claude. Mm-hmm. You're not using actual Claude code. You're using the programmatic version of that. And so their new announcement was that like it's officially not included in your Mac subscription. They give you a little credit every month. So as a $200 subscriber, I get $200 worth of credits toward using that stuff, which is nothing compared to how much I would actually use it. Which means that like if I want to use a tool, like I've been using this tool Conductor as my daily driver for, but now it means that like if I want to continue to use Opus models, that's going to cost a lot more than what I've been paying. So for coding, if I want to stick with that tool, I'd probably have to switch to Codex, or I need to go to a tool that supports Claude Code CLI. Now, like the question about like who does this actually impact? If you just use Claude Code CLI, which I was for a long time, and I might end up just going back to that, you're basically not affected because you are using Claude's
right. It's like you're using
product.
their branded product compared to a third party.
A third party like wrapper product.
Right. It's almost, it sounds almost like a right. Whenever I see a pricing change, I like to think about, well, why would they do this? Assuming they're not
That's
stupid.
what I'm trying to understand. Yeah.
Right. So let's assume they're smart, and with Anthropic, pretty safe assumption. If this is a smart thing to do, how did they get here? Sometimes you can see compromises that are made in that decision process where you're like, that's probably stupid, but that's probably something that they felt like they had to do. Right. So it's fun to kind of try to figure out how someone landed on a pricing change.
There's
on
a
this
couple
one,
different theories. Yeah. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious what the theories are. The theory that immediately pops up in my mind is, how do you deal with a third-party ecosystem that's building around your platform? And there are some tried and true ways to do that, right? Apple, pretty straightforward. Third party sounds great. We're going to take a big chunk out of it, period. And all the transactions are going to flow through us. Therefore, we're going to have control of the payment flow. We're going to keep our 30%. We're going to do whatever they want, right? That's one approach. Shopify has a different approach with their ecosystem. All these big platforms have different approaches. If you're Anthropic and you're looking at this blossoming ecosystem that wants to rely on your models, my worry, if I'm Anthropic, is that puts me in a position of being a commodity. And I don't want to be a commodity. So if you go to Conductor and you choose the Claude model, I'm not important to you. And that's fine, but I'm not about to subsidize that. If you want to come to, Claude.com or whatever, direct branded website experience, desktop app that I'm staring at Claude all day, there's a lot of value in that I'm willing to subsidize. But if you're going to go one step away from me, you will not make me a commodity. Sorry, I'm not going to subsidize being a commodity. You're going to pay for the service. And that is a way to kind of remain central and not invisible to a third-party ecosystem that might want to just shove you down and say, you're an API. You don't have to worry about us. Worry about Conductor. That's who your relationship is with. Pay us.
I think you're probably right about their strategy there. But I also I don't know what the right answer to this is, but I question so like, if they want you to stay on Claude's apps, which clearly they do, right? Okay, Claude Code CLI, in a lot of ways, that was like a revelation. It came out about a year and a half ago, and it sort of changed everything. And it was the first of its kind to break open that type of product in the market. And it's still fantastic. It keeps getting better and better. It's really great. But not everyone likes the terminal CLI experience, especially, I would say, like non-technical, but even there are technical people, like even myself, like I've come to start to really like Conductor, and that's not a CLI based thing. If it's true that Claude wants you to be in their desktop apps or their Claude Cowork or their Claude Code on desktop or Claude Code, I would say, okay, Claude Code is pretty great if you like terminals. Claude desktop kind of sucks. Claude Cowork kind of sucks. So it's like, why are you pushing all these developers into, I would say, subpar competitors in that space? Like you can't say, and you cannot say that Claude desktop is a serious competitor to like most serious coding tools. So if that is their strategy, they should go buy Conductor, or they should go buy or like some, like, I don't know, like buy one of these companies and have a legit coding platform, right?
Yeah, I think they probably will. They'll probably, I don't know if Zed is for sale or...
Yeah, but then there's a theory beyond that. It's like they might be working off the assumption that like coding as a profession and software development as a profession is a temporary state.
That's the deep state conspiracy theory, is like
Yeah, that like even they might be thinking along the lines of like, look, in another 18, 24 months, the models are going to be so good that like you can just go into a Claude.com and get whatever you want built. And like I question the speed on that. Like, yeah, I believe that the models are going to keep getting really great. But like, so like I get what I'm saying is like that would be the argument for like, well, they're not going to go either acquire a well-known like IDE because that and they're not going to invest in building their own like best-in-class IDE. So that's why they have these like sort of janky like Claude desktop apps, and even Claude CLI you could say like feels like a temporary solution until whatever the next generation of this looks like.
Yeah. The other thing I'm thinking,
what is interesting though to me is that like I really think that like this like we're clearly seeing it now. This could be the thing that is actually pushing a lot of Claude diehards over to Codex. And it's interesting that like Claude as a company has always positioned themselves like if you code, we are the coding model. Like that is our strength. We are the best coding model. We are built around code. We've been built around code since day one. And this kind of change, at least the way that they communicated it and the way they've rolled it out, like it definitely has me considering like, all right, maybe it's time for me to actually get on the Codex train. And other people, at least when it comes to coding, like why would they be pushing off?
They can see the demand coming in. So what we can't see is, and we all know they're getting crushed. Not just the Claude apps, but Claude code usage is just crushing right now. And the other thing that they just turned on was these new enterprise plans. So remember, the diehards come first, but the diehards are like the tip of the iceberg. They are not a profitable market. You actually lose money on them. The big market is the people that come after. So then you get after the diehards, then you get the first group of kind of early adopters after them. And then the big caboose that you really want is enterprise. So enterprise is just coming online now. They're catching up after whatever 6 months a year, and now Claude is really getting hammered. And those enterprise customers, unlike diehards, are like, this has got to be stable. We have to have agreements. We can't just have like these kind of like willy-nilly like, oh yeah, you can use it with this, and they're like, no, we want to know how many tokens we're paying for.
Yeah, and like they need investment. Like they need capacity. They need servers. They need and that's OpenAI's like advantage over them is they have all this money and they have all this compute, and Anthropic is starving for the compute. So maybe this changes factors into that, where it's like we need to clamp down on revenue and show investors that we have a path to,
Yeah, I mean, they're about to raise another $30 billion. They just did a deal with XAI for all the compute that XAI, turns out to not need. Elon kind of admitted defeat on that. And their revenue went from 10 billion to 30 billion, and now it went from 30 to 80 billion. I think they're raising a 30 billion round at $990 billion. So it's just under $1 trillion for a private company. I think they assume they will not have any trouble attracting capital, and capital is not a problem. They will buy whatever compute they need. They'll buy whatever they need. So I always assume that they're just looking out into the future, and if they're ignoring something like this coding layer in between, it's because they don't care. They don't think it's relevant in a year, or they have other plans, or they're doing it themselves, or just something that there's good reason for it.
Can I just add one more thing here, which is my barber had a 6-month waiting list. So people were waiting 6 months to get in. And
to get their hair done?
To get their hair done. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, raise your prices. Look at this demand. And he's like, okay.
True.
And he raised his prices. Then his waiting list went down to 3 months. I said, dude, raise your prices. Yeah, but people are going to complain. Like, these diehards have been with me from the beginning. They're like my best customers. I said, raise your prices. And you have to do it sustainably. You can't do it all the time. But, every couple years, he raises his prices, and he'll just cut down the, it goes from like, originally he would accept walk-ins, now no walk-ins. Then you got to book a week out, then you got to book 3 weeks out, then you got to book. So the answer is
not good.
The answer when there's a ton of demand and you are capturing a lot of that demand, the answer is usually to increase prices.
Yeah. Why give anything away? They're in the most powerful position.
I mean, if you think about I think like the big three, right? Like Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google. Those are the three that are in this horse race for AI market share, right? So I guess the working assumption here is that like they believe that they are not in the commodity game and they are in the product game, right? Like how do they, like their main lever is have the best product ecosystem and keep people in your ecosystem. Because my thought is like, well, if I sort of love aspects of Claude's actual products, but then there are aspects of them that I hate or just don't use, and that's why I go to other products to use the Claude models on. So like, what if the products are not their focus and just the models are their focus? If they just keep competing on like, we have the best models, especially for these use cases, whether it's programming or creative or whatever it might be, like, is that not good enough from a competitive lever?
They don't seem to be satisfied with that. The number of releases, right? What went on my radar a few days ago was Claude for small businesses launched, and it's like a package of connectors to invoicing and accounting and HR and that kind of thing. How do you become a $10 trillion company unless you are going for everything? I think they're just going to go for everything. It's like, why not? In some ways, they're playing like defense along the way to make sure that they don't regret allowing one category of products to get too much leverage over them. They just have the underlying magic. And it's, it's like Apple. Like, we have the phone, so we're going to say what goes. Why would we give up any power in this situation when we have the thing that matters most that everyone wants access to? But do you think that they're working? However,
do you think that they're working on the assumption that like OpenAI or Google or Anthropic, like two of them are going to lose, and there's going to be one winner, or are they working on the assumption that there's always going to be these three, for the next while?
I think it's just, honestly, I think that it's just the way in which the Twitter ecosystem is a distraction is that it is just this tiny percentage of the world. And the Claude brand, talking about the barbershop again, the barbers are now saying, should I use Claude? They're just hearing about it now. I heard it was the next big thing. I heard it's like, so now the rest of the world is waking up, and Claude has all of this demand coming in. They've got demand coming in on the coding side, tons of new people using that. They got demand coming in for their apps. They got demand coming in on the enterprise, small business. It's all happening. And what a great time to raise prices, because it's like people have just heard about this thing that's better. So instead of whatever, it could be, instead of $200, it's $250 now. I heard it's the best. And the other thing is that there's always hand wringing from the original people. They're like, I remember when Claude was just for us. It's like, yeah, it's not just for you.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, and that's why I've always been like sort of a defender of them, especially when like they kind of clamp down on limits. It's like, oh, I got to upgrade again. I got to, like, well, yeah, because it's freaking amazing, and we have these superpowers. Like, I'm happy to pay a couple $100s a month for it. But then that's why I want, and I realize that, like, I think like me and the people on Twitter are like the very small drop in the bucket of what they actually care about here. But if they did just continue to allow, like they could have just like incrementally increased the price of the Max subscription, or clamped down on what the actual limits are, causing people to upgrade, to double and triple their Max subscription without without saying like, hey, we just don't support that use case anymore. So go away if you want to use that use case. That just seems like a weird move, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard Aaron on one of the recent casts. He was like, well, I ran out, so I had to just sign up for a new account. Pulled out a different credit card, used a different address, and just create a new account so that I could get access.
And he's doing that on Codex. He's doing that on he's signing up for multiple Codex accounts. Okay. and again, this is another thing, like, so all of these companies could see this. I don't think they're naive. They're like, oh wait, this Aaron guy has got just 3 consumer accounts. It's like, well, fine. That Aaron guy is in the top 0.5%. I don't care
he's
about
not signing a $2 million a year contract anyway. So
yeah, but you know who I want to make sure isn't doing that shit is IBM. And I'm gonna make a nice big enterprise package. And like, whoa, wait a second. Somebody at IBM is doing a ton of high volume programmatic workload. So
yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Trigger the sales team to reach out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I mean, speaking of that, there is this really interesting product thing happening. Like, so Aaron is working on Solo, which
and by the way, Solo would not be affected by any of this.
That's what I want to mention here is that like there's a really interesting moment right now happening in agentic development tools. And I've been deep in this because I've been trialing like 5 of them over the last month, bouncing back and forth because I've been a longtime Cursor user for like the last 2 or 3 years. I would say Cursor has been like the big winner for the last 3 years or so. Before that, probably VS Code and others.
Yep.
But that's getting shaken up now. And I think finally we're in this space now where I guess they're calling them like agentic tools or agentic development tools, right? Where it's a really common layout. You've got like workspaces or work trees on the left. You've got your main agent conversation in the middle, and maybe your file changes on the right. And that's the new layout across a bunch of these different tools. And like the ones that I've been bouncing between have been one called Superset that I was using for a couple of weeks. Currently, I'm using Conductor. Aaron's thing, Solo, is I would say like in this ecosystem. Cursor version 3 is also like a take on this same layout. And the main idea is that like instead of having multiple windows open, you can have multiple agents working on multiple projects and branches and work trees all in the same in the same like window, right?
Yeah.
But there's one dividing line between them, and I think Aaron is on the right side of this, which is some of them are built around the native CLIs. So like Claude Code CLI or Codex CLI or Gemini CLI, you can use whatever CLI from those companies inside the app, in each tab or in each work tree, and you're good. And this Claude price change does not affect you. Conductor, on the other hand, which is the one I'm currently using, does not use the CLI. They wrap it up. They have a super nice UI and some nice benefits to that. They do have now like a built-in terminal, but it's not quite the first class feature. I've been begging them to make it more like that. Superset is on the CLI side of that. So anyway, there's this dividing line that up until this week in that product category was more of a personal preference. Like if you want CLI, then go for those. If you don't, then check out Conductor, and it's got all these other product benefits. But now there's a big cost factor, right? Because now it's like, well, if I'm a Claude user, now I very much question of whether I want to stick with Conductor or not, or stick with Conductor but switch to Codex, right? So it's a really interesting product thing that's happening right now.
It sounds equally intended to drive revenue as it is to change behavior. It's like a stick. You just get whacked. You want to go farther away from us? It's going to hurt one way or another. Yeah. Maybe it'll drive some revenue, but it also shifts behavior in the way that they want.
Yeah. Yep. Bo is saying in the chat that Aaron was saying that any of the muxers, I guess that's like any of these tools that are mux based or whatever, like Tmux, Solo, Gene, are fine for now because they are just basically emulating a Claude in the terminal, but
Yeah,
in
it's
this
like literally
nice
like a
wrapper.
terminal within a window. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like while we were talking, I went and asked Rock and Andrew, right, our Eng team, like what do they do, and they were almost a little confused by the question. They were like, "We open our terminal in a new cloud session."
Right.
You know, he's like,
I think
"I
all the
like
terminals
PHP
are gonna-
Storm." You know, like whatever I
Yeah.
just like to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the terminals are going to go this way increasingly, right? Like they're all going to have more of. So there's a lot There's actually a lot happening in this space that's very interesting. And open code is like I think a very popular, highly funded. Has Dax is one of the key people there. He's very popular on Twitter. So and he's been hit over and over again with these these restrictions and. There's stuff happening in this space. Like Cursor is also highly funded, and this is going to affect them. So there's a lot going on here,
It's awesome.
and it's actually quite an interesting space. Like I
It
think,
really is. I mean, and if you have a tool in this space, like this is major news for you and your users, and it's a positioning wedge now. You're either on this. It's which side of this line are you on? Because it's literally you could put copy on your website to say like you don't have to pay more to use this tool, or you do need to pay more to use this tool if you're a cloud user. Like it's
reminiscent to me of Apple, and Apple would say this behavior is ordained, and this behavior is not allowed. And so the developers who are in the ordained category really benefited from that. Every time Steve Jobs came down with an opinion and said, we don't like this usage of our products or our app store or whatever, we're getting rid of those and everyone gets wiped out. But we do like this. We're encouraging this. And then those folks do fine. So it's like blessed and non-blessed. That's, there's a big discussion for a while about what is a platform? What is a platform versus something else? Like, is Facebook a platform? Is Microsoft Windows a platform? And people would say, well, Facebook isn't a platform because of this and this and this. I think maybe Claude, I don't know if Claude is a platform or not, but it's that level, right? So they do control a lot. In the same way that Apple basically controlled the App Store and could say, unless the EU came and sued them, like we are doing what we want here.
The rules.
And all of the Android people are like, well, how come you can't just build it? And it's like, we're not doing that here. Sorry.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Well, we've got a bunch of things on the list. So what do we want to pick?
One of the great meme formats to come out of the last year.
Great.
So good.
I
love
did
that
just see
movie
this
too,
like
but it's so
more and more and more.
What movie is that from again?
Truman
Show?
Yes. The Truman Show. Yeah. Yeah. It's this guy. I don't even understand all these references myself, but I have even me who's not on X really at all. I'm seeing this guy show up. He's like a director.
Do you know like the character in the movie?
Yeah, he's the director in the Truman Show. That's like behind the scenes, like okay,
he's
make
up
He's
the
like
life.
the puppet master.
Yes.
He's like controlling the world.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, got it. So this is
there's a meme for everyone. There's like the dad meme versions. There's the tech version, movie, entertainment, pop culture. There's everything. But at some point yesterday, because I kept liking so many of them, my entire feed was just one after another after another. But they're so funny.
Jordan, now I know where to go find them all. I'm just going to go on your profile, Jordan, and see what you like.
Go to my.
Well, this one is related because it's like the line says he's become fully reliant on LLMs to code. Now increase the price by 1,000%. That's like the.
Love it.
Yeah. Memes are fascinating to me. Like the way that they spread. I often also think about the kinds of memes that happened pre-internet, like skipping songs like Cinderella dressed in yellow. I don't know if you guys do those, but there's some of these that I can introduce. And I'll be like, did you guys have this meme on the elementary school Like,
Yes.
like another, for a long time when Kobe was the big person, it's like you would Kobe a shot or something.
Kobe.
And the fact that these things existed pre-internet is always fascinating to me too, and that they would spread from Stony Plain, Alberta. Well, they probably wouldn't spread from Stony Plain, Alberta. They would spread from Manhattan or Brooklyn.
Right, no one knows where they start,
and they would go all over, and it's such
an
an
interesting
it's
and
such an interesting,
tribal
comedic
sharing of knowledge.
yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, and it's like
then,
a comedic device. Like in an instant you can tell like a whole story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's like a
writing out
cultural
paragraphs,
foundation, and you could put some stuff on top of it, and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very
So
powerful because it is the shortest version of an argument or the shortest version of a statement. Like the fewest words possible. It could be just the image or an image and a caption.
Yeah.
And then everyone grabs it and makes it their own.
Yeah, like you're riding on top of that cultural knowledge,
Yeah. And it keeps going until brands start using it or boomers start using it too much. And then it's like, okay, that's dead.
Yeah.
Now we're moving on.
I know that we've been talking about AI so much, but like, I don't know, Justin, did you want to get into this question of like AI brain exhaustion? And
Sure.
burnout?
I think we could probably end with this. This was something that came up. Dave Jones, is Dave still in the chat? He was like, oh, I want to talk about this brain exhaustion burnout. He replied on Blue Sky about this. I think this is just something we've touched on before, and I feel it too. I feel like AI has just increased the speed of everything. And I feel like I'm on drugs all day. Even if I'm not using AI all day, just the momentum has increased dramatically. Like, for example, this video podcasting feature we're working on. Well, guess who else is working on it? Our competitors. Guess who is also using AI in everything they're doing? Coding and our competitors. Guess who's going faster? All of us. So this feeling that a lot of us are getting now, we look at the clock and it's a 1 p.m. and I'm going, my brain is burnt. It feels like I've been running on the fastest treadmill or doing like snorting Coke. And then I'm just like,
crash.
You kind of crash at the end. It's like the high is almost addictive, like a drug. And again, the pace is kind of set by AI, but it doesn't mean you're always on AI. It just feels
the
like
intensity.
Everything, the intensity. And I'm seeing a lot more devs talking about like by 11 a.m., I'm kind of burnt out, or by 3 p.m., I feel like my brain hurts,
I relate to the exhaustion thing. I wonder what you mean by the burnout part. What's the blowback of it? Because I have some thoughts on it too, but what are you seeing?
I think the burnout, I think Mark Andreessen was talking about this recently. I'm a great example. I went from working, 7 to 8 hour day to a 10 to 11 hour day. Getting way more done. The intensity of the day is way higher. I know I can't sustain that for a prolonged period of time. It's just too high intensity, too many hours, and too fast.
So you're saying like now that AI is embedded in your work day to day, it's actually causing you to work more hours, not less.
Yes. And the industry, our industry, the fact that basically Apple makes this announcement doesn't tell any of the podcast hosting companies that they're supporting this thing. So we have really 3-4 weeks to build the initial version of this. In a previous world, that would have been impossible.
Right.
We would have not been able to do that. And, we've always been a small, agile team, and we've got really good people. And so, for us, we were always doing things 50% faster than our competitors in a lot of cases, because they're just bigger, etc. But now it's just like everybody somehow is releasing a working initial version of this feature in weeks. And just the intensity of that. And it's not like we're just like working an hour a day and being like, Claude, do this, and then we go to the beach. It's like, no, it's like an intense 100-meter dash, it's like it feels like you're just on this treadmill going faster and faster and faster. I think I'm starting to see this play out in capitalism. It's just like, oh, wow, we've got this Claude Code tool. It's our little secret. Nope. It's like your competitors have it. Oh, but we're really good at using it. They don't know. Nope. They're doing the same thing. They're all watching Brian Castle. Like we're all watching Brian implementing it and making it happen. Now, of course, there's laggards, but teams like ours, there's a lot of competition in this space right now. And
the speed is becoming normalized now.
Yeah. And I do think there's a risk of, and just individually, as I talk to people, like if I've been in a really crazy Claude Code session all day, and I'm like thinking through the problems and the user experience, and I'm going back and forth, and I'm, by the end of the day, I'm holding so much like strategic decisions in my head. And I don't want to tell the LLM everything, and I've made the plan, but I know I've got to keep it on the tracks. Yes. It's exhausting in a way that I was different than before. Mm-hmm. Because before I would have stretched all of that thinking out over, weeks and months, but now it's all happening in a single day. Are you seeing any of that on your team, Jordan?
So I worry about it more than I see it. So I look at how much we're doing and how much engineering is happening and product, and I worry about the people. But generally speaking, when I check in with them, what I hear back is, I'm having a great time. This is fun. Yeah. And I'm able to do more stuff. And yes, I am working more. And that part is challenging, but it's so fun and we're growing. And so it doesn't feel like this dangerous thing yet.
Yeah.
It does feel like, yes, the capitalism element is intensifying everyone's experience. Mm-hmm. Or at least at the forefront. And just generally speaking, it's like the temperature got turned up. Mm-hmm. And it is good because the productivity and the efficiency, that's actually how we grow, and that's how there's less poverty, all these things where it's like people are able to do more stuff with less. Mm-hmm. But at the individual level, it's pretty intense. And I hear you on like the brain context. It makes me think of like, sometimes you'll see like a mathematician and they look crazy. Like, it's because it's so intense. They're thinking for years and years, and you see it on their face and their hair. They're like wild.
Dude, I had a math teacher in grade 12 called Mr. Holland. And one day he came to his class with a comb still in his hair. Like he had just forgotten the comb in his hair. Yeah. And we're like,
thought of something in the middle.
Theorem.
Shirt untucked. Yeah. He was wearing 2 different shoes. Like,
right.
He
so
was
it's like
just
partly personality, and it's also like profession. And I mean, you see it in general, you do wear your stress on yourself. And there is an element to the intensity that it will get to you. I am starting to see it as almost a form of entertainment. Like when I'm sitting on the couch, normally I'm like, I don't want to think about work. Mm-hmm. Let me think about other stuff. What barbecue do I want to order? And look at this thing I got to do. But now it's kind of fun to go explore something. And that part of it I really like. So it's like, yes, I'm on the computer more, but it does feel like I'm learning more than I used to learn. So that part's cool. I think maybe I get away with it because I'm not an engineer, and that might be the most intense version of collaborating with AI.
Yeah. I mean, it can also be a personality thing, because largely I'm the same way. I'm having the time of my life. I feel like I'm running hot a lot, like I'm running the engine hot. I do feel like that. I kind of like that feeling.
I think that's interesting.
It feels amazing.
Where are we getting the pressure from? I think we all have the pressure, like that's making us want to work more and more hours, squeeze more into each week, ship more. And yeah, maybe we can point to AI, like now that we have this capability, at least, like speaking for myself, like knowing how much I can get done in a day or in a week, it does make me want to bite off even more.
Yeah.
Which does drive more hours and more intensity. But I, like in your case, Justin, like, you have this pressure and this date from Apple and hustling with a competitive thing. Like Jordan, you've got your pressures, and my pressures are more, a lot of them are like self-inflicted, I think, but also like a lot of the challenge is like the my business is the content of AI and the transition to AI and how do we adapt and like I'm thinking about these things all the time and what my members need. And when that stuff keeps shifting so damn quickly, that where like literally I'll release a course 2 months ago that I feel is like now I got to do another course because it's like that's out of date. That's kind of a lot of pressure. But I think the other thing about the speed, the exhaustion part, because like even before AI, I worked my ass off. I still work my ass off. I'm a workaholic. Like I've sort of always been that way, and I've always been self-motivated to a fault. To like I do work a lot of hours because I want my business to grow, and I put a lot of pressure on myself to do that. And definitely to a fault, I would say. But the exhaustion part of it is more of like the strategic pace. So like there used to be natural, normal lead time for like releasing new products or releasing new features. I remember like a few years ago when I was working on like the big changeover from zip message to Clarity Flow. This is back in like 2022, 2023.
Like 100 years ago.
100 years, yeah. I worked on that for like a year, like all the things, like changing the product, changing the marketing website, changing the name, changing and like it took me so long to put all these pieces in place, line them all up so that in March of 2023, we could flip the switch and now our marketing engines can go and we can, and everything is riding on the same track. And now the exhaustion to me is like, okay, literally this month, I have published 3 new free open source tools on GitHub. And I think that these are kind of, I hate the word, but like game changers. There's so much value. I released this PRD creator. I released a design system skill. I released a whole Rails app template. I have not talked about these anywhere. I haven't had time to talk about them. I just create them and ship them. And
this train's going so fast, it doesn't have time to pick up passengers or publish a schedule or nothing. It's just going.
Literally.
Here's my question. My question to both of you. Isn't this all grounded in the fact that success feels closer and more attainable than ever? Isn't that the motivation? Isn't that what's driving you crazy? It's not like I need to keep up with my competitor. Even if it is that, it's like everything feels closer. It's like you make the right few moves. 6 months is so much time. Yeah, that everything feels more attainable. You're like,
that's what's so exciting about it.
This is what I've been doing this for.
It might be kind of like Formula One, like Brad Pitt. He had the car before, and it's like this isn't working, and then just like that's the car I want, and then he gets in the new car, and he's like, I can fucking push this thing. I can win with this car.
Yes,
and I think that's the feeling. There is a divide. I think some people. I think it's just like it's too much, and for them, they can't. They're not having fun driving this car right now. It's just too fast. Everybody's slipping around. It's like too much.
I think the reality that I think most of us need to start to wrap our heads around is that there is a flip. For years, we were trained and sort of brought up as like SaaS founders and product and entrepreneur and startup founders to like start the marketing engines up while you're in the long slog of building the product, and you have this long coming soon phase where you can build anticipation and build the early access list. But that is flipping now because now we can ship products so much faster that I think the new way to think about it is that it's okay to just ship the product today and let the marketing develop over the coming weeks. And that's how I'm sort of forced to think about it, right? Like I launched a whole course called Become the Builder on teaching people how to learn how to build with AI. And it's 35 lessons. Like if you don't know how to code, you can now code and build with AI. I think it's a fantastic course. I built it in about 2 weeks and released it. I would say it's like a flagship course now in Builder Methods Pro. A lot of my marketing and content is pushing people toward this, and it's working. Like new customers really like it. I didn't think about it like a big lead up, like months from now, this whole thing is going to drop and there's going to be launch. Like, no, like it just started and now it's just going to grow and become this pillar piece over the coming year. Same thing with these new free open source tools. Like my video next week covers one of them, but I actually released it 2 weeks ago. So I think we need to start to get comfortable with the idea that like we can just ship, we can just launch stuff and the marketing will follow rather than like hold back the launch to build anticipation.
Yeah,
there's just not enough time.
There's
like,
no
we can
holding
ship so
back.
much faster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever you got, send it.
Yeah.
And if it happens that you need a few weeks for the product, then send the marketing. Same as you did, Justin. And if you have the marketing, send that too. If the product's ready, push that forward and market after. There's no room for hesitation, and you don't get rewarded for hesitating. You don't get rewarded for being careful or slow or deliberate.
Yeah.
Market just rewards going.
And ultimately, like I've never been interested in launch-based products or marketing. Like I don't care about a big launch. I don't care if I have hundreds of thousands of dollars on day one. What I actually care about is an engine. I really want this thing to be a slow, steady, like every month it's just growing and growing in a funnel that keeps, so like I'm happy to have the product in hand, ready to sell on day one so that I can just start chipping away at building up that marketing engine over time, you know?
Well, one thing I'm thinking about the burnout thing, and we should probably wind down here, but that came to mind while we were all talking is, I think in the past, Brian, we've talked about two types of burnout. Like there's the burnout when you're just working too hard, too often. Like I'm going for after work beers way more. And in my head, I know I can't do this forever. Like I can't just like have an insane day and then, you know, my wife calls me and says, "Hey, what are you?" I said, "Let's go for beer." And I go for beer. And then I'm just like, you know, talking to her about all this stuff. That's not sustainable. I can't do that forever. So that is a type of burnout where you're just like working so intense for so long. It's like, you know, the secretary that is just working way too long, way too many hours, way too many responsibilities. That kind of burnout. There's the other kind of burnout, though, we talked about, which is feeling like you're just not getting what you want out of work. And it's like, I'm frustrated or depressed about like, I want to be moving and I can't. There's some obstacle in my way. And I think there are, maybe it's not everybody's like this, but there are a group of us that are largely founders for whom it's like all of a sudden the thing that was blocking us all the time is not blocking us now. And that's why we're fired up. We're fired up. Ironically, it puts us at risk for the other kind of burnout. But this kind of burnout where you're just like always hitting obstacles and you're getting frustrated because you can't make progress. Well, now we're just like, here's the engine, rev it up. I'm going, you know, I've been waiting for this.
I mean, I think that like founders who've been around, you know, a while and done this a few times have the advantage now of like, okay, like I know all the pieces that are going to need to be, you know, figured out and put into place. Whereas I think that the newer founder is still sort of guessing at like, okay, this should be the priority versus that should be the priority. And I think that's the other exciting thing about having this speed at our fingertips now is like, I know all the things that need to exist and just need to get them in place. And that's pretty exciting that I can do that in like a month instead of like 6 months, you know?
All right, gents. Well, it is 12:30 here. I also have to really go to the bathroom, so we got to stop this.
That's it. That's all I got to go.
Thanks to everyone that showed up in chat. Again, I'll be off the next couple weeks, but I'm sure Brian and Jordan will let you guys know.
We'll hold down the fort.
We'll hold it down. Look forward to hearing about your travels.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Later, folks.